Hello everybody! So you may notice I'm releasing this video a day early because instead of doing like my normal Thursday thoughts, I want to show some home workouts to do for those who may not be able to make it to the gym. So today is body weight, chest and back. I am stretching the traps or trapezium. I'm doing this by just tilting my head to one side and using my hand as a counterweight, just kind of adding a little bit of extra force, not really pulling, more just kind of letting it just rest there. Now this next stretch is for the pectoral major, or the pecs, most commonly known. What I'm doing is finding a wall and putting my arm up against it at a 90-degree angle, as you see, and then I have my feet at a staggered stance, and then I take my weight and put it on my forward foot to really stretch out that muscle. When I'm done, I switch sides, or if you can find an opposite wall, whichever works best for you, and then you just put that weight forward as before on the other side to stretch the other pec muscle. The next, if you want to use your sink to stretch your lats, you can do that. But for me, I'm a little tall, so I have to use some kind of equipment. So if there's something like a table or something that you can stand and bend at the hips, and you're going to want to have your arms outstretched above your head with your thumb facing upward. Now, if you don't have any kind of contraption like this, my next suggestion would be to use like a table or a coffee table, end table, something like that, to where you can get on your hands and knees and stretch both sides. Next are the core and balance workouts. Those are usually what I like to do for a warm-up. Here you see the prone iso abs, or more commonly known as plank. You get into a position similar to this. Make sure your hips and your back are aligned, as well as your head. Mine is a little bit jutted forward, but it's not too bad. If you do want to challenge yourself, you can always get up on your hands, just making sure everything stays aligned. A core exercise that focuses on the back is the floor Cobra. As you can see, I'm on my stomach and I'm raising the top part of my body by using my lats and my traps, squeezing the shoulder blades together, not really using my what's called the erector spinae, which is the muscle that runs along the spine. You don't want to use that as much. You want to focus more on the shoulder blades, raising the top part of your body. Moving into the resistance portion, here you can see the classic push-up. I am keeping my hips and back aligned while also keeping my core engaged, and then you want to make sure your elbows don't flare out too much. If on your feet is too much, you can always regress down to your knees as a variation to help curb some of that weight. You want to do the same principle, keeping those elbows in as best as possible, keeping the core engaged, and making sure your back and your hips are aligned. And if regressed on your knees is still too much weight, you can always use a counter or sink. If the edges are a little bit sharp, I like to use an oven pad or anything like that if I'm ever doing any sink or counter push-ups. And a final alternative you can do is push-ups off of the wall. Just the same with any of the other push-ups, keeping that core engaged, making sure your elbows don't flare out too much. And as you can see here, the shoulder blades are pulling in as I'm going down, so that whenever I push myself forward or out away from the wall, my pecs are contracting. And lastly, we have the ball Cobra. Now, unfortunately, there are not many, or there's barely any back exercises that you can use your body weight that do not require any equipment at all. As you can tell, I'm doing the same movements as floor Cobra, but here I am stabilizing myself on the ball, and I'm even able to hyperextend my shoulder blades for a full contraction and release. Another alternative is if you have an elastic band like this, just place it underneath you, and so whenever you contract the shoulder blades using the traps and the lats, it adds a bit of resistance to the workout. Thank you all so much for watching. To see more, please like, follow, and subscribe.